and welcome back to the Team Bandit Gang YouTube channel and to another episode of the Iron Falcon Report. This time we have 4 people instead of 3. In the last episode, Gascon was sort of lurking in the screen, but we never really brought him up. So that was kind of awkward. But today we are joined by 3 people, 2 of whom you might be sick of seeing at this point. But we're gonna go ahead and introduce them anyway. So starting off, we have Bomblin once again. He's joined us, I think, every episode pretty much since the start. Yep. So you're pretty much an original in this series. How are you doing today?
Very good, very good. I'm happy that I'm here again, and I hope I will be here again next time.
Again and again and again and again and again. Next, we have the content manager for Team Bandit Gang. We have Baby Joseph. His first appearance, it seemed like star power. Now I'm getting utterly sick of it. No, I'm just kidding. How are you doing today, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good, man. Rocking that BG pink, as you can see. So,
he's just leaked our first set of merch right there. It's the pink suit.
Oh, yeah, the pink suit. Only for management, though. Sorry for you, Enzo.
Ah, damn, that's unfortunate. That's okay. I got tired of seeing it anyway. And we have the third person on the panel, somebody who's actually relatively new to the team. And he's kind of what the first 5 minutes of the podcast is going to be revolve around. We have Mr. Carrost. How are you doing today, sir? If you can introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm doing pretty well. Thanks for asking. I'm new to the team. I'm now part of the content team. I stream, I write articles, and I generally do weird stuff.
And as you can already tell, he's already failed the test because I don't know if you know how this works, but you have to plug yourself. Go ahead and say your social media links. They'll be in the description below, but where can people find you? We're going to do it now anyway before it starts.
Okay. If you want to find me on Twitch, it's twitch.tv/Carrost, Carrost. If you're looking for me on Twitter, you can find me usually shit posting for the most part. That is, well, Carrost, the same thing. Hashtag core tempo or core temp 0, if you prefer. I don't have an Instagram yet because I'm an old man, and I haven't figured it out yet, frankly. You can also find some of my first articles on the Bandit Gang website, so that'll be my social for now.
Fair enough, and that will all be in the description below in case you guys forget, but we're gonna make sure you guys don't because that's the whole idea. So today's episode is, I'm personally looking forward to this one, and I can't wait to see where this one goes. There's going to be 2 topics we're going to cover today. The first topic is going to be sort of a spotlight on Carrost, which means he will have the floor for 5 minutes where we sort of just get to know him a little bit more and sort of see what he does and all that stuff. And the second part will be about sort of content in Gwent in general. That one's going to be pretty open. I'll probably have some questions along the way, but I really can't wait where this one goes. So just a disclaimer, if you guys get butthurt over anything we say in terms of content, then too bad. Okay, so let's get going. Carrost, you're going to be on the floor this time for the first topic. So I remember we had a bit of a conversation, sort of like, because I know are you still on trial or is it officially over?
No, I'm full-fledged now.
Oh,
yeah,
awesome.
It's not officially on social media yet, but he's on the website now, and he's part of the Twitch team as well.
And my due date for getting the tattoo is next week.
Okay, got it. So is that going to be showcased once it's all up on social media and on the website and everything?
Based on where I'm getting it, probably not.
Okay, got it. Got it. So if you don't mind telling us a little bit about yourself, where do you live? What's your credit card number? Your address? No, I'm kidding.
Okay, social insurance number is.
It's gonna be all it's gonna be all beeped out. Don't worry.
There you go. Okay, only you guys get to know. So I'm another Canadian, finally joining the ranks alongside the vaunted Christo.
Thanks.
Ontario, if you super need to know. Besides that, I've been playing Gwent for about a little bit over a year now. I think just under a year. I started in May of last year. I am an actor by trade. Voice acting is what I'm trying to get into the most, but in the meantime, I'm working on my article writing as well as my video editing. As any other actors out there know, anywhere you can make a buck is a good buck. So specialize and generalize, do whatever you can, really. But I like to use my voice acting, especially with my content creation. If you ever check out any of my streams, I usually tend to bounce from voice to voice as much as I can. It's good practice, and I like to show off. So,
Yeah, I can tell by the way you're talking already that like when you say you're a voice actor or you're aspiring to be one, you're not kidding. We do have I do have a couple of projects lined up for you already. I believe you already sort of went through them, so I really can't wait for that. And it's funny too because I never really thought about using like voice actors and stuff for these. Like like whenever we watch videos and stuff, it's usually people sort of using their own like natural voice. But I think having like some variety in like how you speak, especially depending on like what the setting is or what kind of setting we want to be, then I think it's like a really good idea if we have acting. So you were a great pickup. So how did BJ pick you up? Were you coerced? Did he bribe you? Did he threaten you? Blackmail? How'd it go?
Van showed up. I was just walking down the street. Van showed up. Denpai and Joseph jumped out, grabbed me, and I went.
Yeah, with our Bandit gang mask on, like
yeah.
And our
I was impressed.
ready.
They had pig masks and everything. I was actually kind of impressed. Afterwards,
Yes.
in the moment, I was just terrified.
If I find a scene with someone wearing a pig mask, it's gonna get edited on right here. That's where it's going. I can't wait for that one.
Amazing. I was just streaming one day, and I think I'd only been streaming for about 3 weeks by that point. Joseph showed up into the stream. We got talking, and the rest they say is history.
Is that a common theme with you, BJ? You jumping on other people's streams, and
Well,
depending on who they are, you compliment them, you flirt with them, you coerce them to the team. What's going on there?
I have my seducing skills, No, but actually, what Carrost forgot to mention, he started rating me, and then I figured, hey, who's this guy actually that rated me? And then I stopped by his stream the next day or the next few days, and we just talked, and after a while, after visiting a few streams, it just seemed like a really cool guy to add to the team, and that fits the Bandit gang mentality and the atmosphere that we have here. So
now, Carrost, did you know at the time who you were rating when you did it? Look where you are now. Because look where you are now.
No.
When
when I rated, I was just saying, "Oh, here's some sucker that's going to give me page views." I didn't know what I was getting into. It was just I was rating up that stream because normally, you want to kind of get a ratio going. So I was like, all right, we've rated down a bit, let's rate up, and then lo and behold.
Sounds good. And I know Bomblin, you stream at depending on where you are, because like where I am in Canada on the west coast, Carrost is all the way across the country, so we're literally the whole country apart. But like when you stream, it's usually like midnight for me. It would be like 3 a.m. for him. So unfortunately, you couldn't get to be the sucker that he rated, but it's okay. You're not management, so you're not that important.
It's better to rate BJ anyway. So
that's true. You never know what you're gonna get, man.
Exactly.
Is there
it's a better payoff.
Yeah. Is there anything else about you? Like any hobbies, interests other than voice acting?
I'm heavy into tabletop gaming. I do Dungeons and Dragons, Dark Heresy, Lancer. I've tried to play them all because I really do enjoy them. Storytelling is a medium that I've always enjoyed, hence acting and voice acting and all that. I also write. I'm working on 2 short stories right now. They're 2 very interesting ones. I find my biggest problem with them right now is finding a good ending to both of them. But it's fun regardless. And I also paint miniatures. I just got into Warhammer 40k and Kill Team, which has been just killing my wallet, but it's a good time.
I mean, if you're having a good time, it doesn't matter if your wallet gets killed, as long as you make it back. Is that why you're streaming?
And actually, Carrost, you were also wearing this armor, right, on stream? What was about?
Yeah, I'm just starting to get into LARPing. Obviously, it's not something I can really do right now because of COVID. But I have a Gambison, and actually you can see them on my shelf over there. I have my bracers and spalders too. So I'm trying to build up a full set so I can finally go to. There's a LARP in Quebec. It's huge. It's like a week-long affair. I'm forgetting what it's called, but it's this big event that I'm hoping to one day go to once all this settles down.
Is it one where it's like if there's like a lot of people, you go to like a wide open field and then you LARP like a battle or something? Because I've seen that before.
Yeah, they have huge like side versus side warfare. So what I was actually thinking of doing is dressing up like a character from Skellige and hoping that someone would notice.
Well, that's kind of
He goes
funny.
Harold the Cripple.
Yeah.
If you have the helmet.
Yeah, I do. Well, I don't have the helmet, but I have his like the Gambison that I have is the exact same color. So
Oh,
that's what I was kind of
that's pretty
thinking.
cool. Yeah, now that you bring up LARPing, I thought behind you that brown blanket, I thought that was like a monk's, like a druid robe or something.
Oh no, that's just...
Just as a blanket. Everyone, that's not that exciting.
Yeah. I do have a wizard hat. I've been trying to find it for streams, but I don't know
color
where
is
it went.
it?
It's like plain beige.
Ah, okay.
If I find it, you can absolutely be sure you're going to see it on stream.
Awesome. And I thought the jacuzzi was already out there as it is.
Yeah, it's my jacuzzi LARP.
The jacuzzi LARP. There we go. That's original. Now you mentioned writing short stories and stuff, and it's and the whole storytelling aspect of it, and I guess that's a good idea. It's pretty good way to segment into sort of the content side of things, because like the stuff I've been uploading on YouTube lately, I like to think that I put a bit of a storytelling aspect to it. A good example is the Lore Blast. We're literally telling a story about the lore of The Witcher. I don't know, like this could be a bit of an ambitious project. It's already gonna be a bit of a leak, and I just thought of it now actually. Is if you and Moriarty can maybe like collab on maybe a bigger sort of lore story. So it'll be a bit longer than the usual times for Lore Blast, but I mean with multiple people, you have different voices. And if there's even like a dialogue between two characters, you guys can take, one character and sort of voice and act it out. I actually recently got voice mod. Actually, no, that's a lie. I got voice mod for almost a year now, and I haven't used it till yesterday, or till when I uploaded the what video was that? I already forgot the name of that video.
Trials of Fire.
The Trials of Fire spotlight. Yeah, so where I voice modded my voice to sort of make it sound like someone who would tell a story. It just ended up being like an echoed voice, so like how someone would talk if they were like in a very large room. But honestly, I think just that different variation in voices could make the story sound pretty interesting, and I think it'll get people like sort of hooked. Like right now, Lore Blast is, I think, our most watched series to date. Like each one gets at least like 200 to 300 views, so which is pretty nice. So yeah, I think getting you involved in sort of that stuff where we implement storytelling and acting out other characters and stuff would be pretty interesting.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Actually, as a matter of fact, sorry to butt in.
Nice.
What I've been working on recently for the campaigns that I DM, because as I said before, I do a lot of tabletop games, is I've been working on voice modding through Audacity. So plugging them in through various filters. I don't know if anyone here has played Half-Life 2, but I recently did a voice mod to sound like the Combined Soldiers. So I had a part in one of my campaigns where it was all pre-recorded, but they were busting down doors, and it was all modded like that. And it was all my voice, but I managed to change it up to sound like that. And I've been really looking into that, so I think you're onto something there.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool if we could sit down together and, you could teach me about how you adjust voices to fit certain things. Because there's certain voices I want to try and implement, but I don't know how to adjust the pitch, because I know nothing about that. I just literally started getting into it just a few days ago.
Right on.
But yeah, I think that's already a big start to the content, and just by looking at BJ and Bomblin's faces, they already seem very impressed. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. I'm just telling facts, guys. It is what it is. So Bomblin, I'm gonna go to you next, because
Sure.
What I want to know is in the comments I've been seeing lately in Reddit and on YouTube. By the way, it's not just one platform. You seem to have a bit of a cult following. So we've got people saying that whenever they see Bomblin, they'll leave a like. And for those of you who don't believe us, you're seeing it right now because I'm pasting it onto the screen. So Bomblin, what's the story? What happened there? How'd you get so entertaining?
I just have very good views. I just love my people that come and watch me. They are very good people. They are very cool. They stay with me. They chat with me, and they just like me. Sometimes they like to bully me as well. So I'm like a punching bag. So sometimes when they punch me so much, and I don't mind, because sometimes after the work you just need to chill. You just want to watch someone and like bully him, and yeah, it's better when they do it on me than on I don't know, their doggos or something like this. but they didn't bully, and then they decide someday that maybe this guy is cool, and they just leave these nice comments under the videos, and I appreciate it. I appreciate all of it. It's very cool. It's very nice. Joking aside, it's very cool. It's really nice to see those comments, and it's just amazing. And I think it's not only shows that I can grow as a streamer or as a content creator, but also whole Bandit Gang team is getting more traction around the internet, around the platforms from CD Projekt. We are finally being visible. People notice us, and I think it's good for all of us. And I'm really happy about it.
Yeah, and like for example, like I know you as like one of the biggest memers, in the Gwent scene, and I felt like sometimes you were very underrated, like you didn't get the recognition that you would deserve for the memes that you put out there and all the try harding what you do for the memes. And now you're getting actually those viewers and those fans that actually notice that and appreciate that for you doing that.
Yeah, I think so, because Gwent was always had always very big focus on being very competitive. Like even from the developers' view, they always described game as this super competitive game. It's not like heavy on RNG, and it's like chess. So it's a lot of people were watching just for this aspect. But I think the more people watch Gwent, and with the card pool that is not that big and is not growing that fast, people are getting bored of watching the same meta decks and same play, so they are looking for something different. And I think that's the audience is expanding at the moment, and they are looking for different stuff. And I think it's where we excel as a team.
Yeah, I definitely think that, because I remember me and VJ had this conversation, and it's really like uncharted waters, and like not a lot of people have started exploring it. We have started swimming all the way out there, and we're discovering all of these new ways to make videos and stuff, because I've always had this thought in the back of my mind. It's like, how do you make card games interesting? Because, like when you try and make content for, let's say, Total War games, you watch a battle replay, you commentate on it, and you see the winners, and like you look at the stats, right? Shooter games, people make content about shooter games. They show highlights. They talk about, how to play better as an FPS shooter, etc. But card games always seem to be like more competitive oriented. So it's like, how do you make it different, right? Where you're not really focusing on the competitive side of things as opposed to the actual like content, because I think the word content seemed to have been like mixed in over the years over like to things like streaming and being competitive. It's like, yeah, that is content, but it's like at the same time, it's like, what do you want that content to achieve for you? Like, do you want it to make you laugh? Do you want it to educate you? Do you want it to make it interesting for you to watch? And I think we're starting to sort of unlock that potential of the content side making it interesting for people to watch. And I think with the ideas that we just threw around earlier in the segment, we're gonna get even more of that. So seeing as we have a content manager on the team, what do you think about all this, Mr. Content Manager? Like, you have any ideas in mind?
Well, first of all, what we want with Bandit Gang is to create unique content. Like we look at what is already out there and what is not there, and what can we do, and we just come up with these ideas, like the hashtag Say No to Net Decking video. It's just a funny joke for April Fools, but you don't see that content in general. And regarding Gwent itself, well, first of all, meme decks. We want to represent those to the people out there playing. Like, hey, guys, these decks exist. There are other ways to play Gwent, and here is a deck that you could try out yourself and get inspiration from. And that's the same with the co-op streams that we do. We try to establish this fun atmosphere on the streams and just joke around, for example, like Denpai, being Queen Denpai, just putting on a wig, and like just do something totally weird and different that you don't expect in general or would ever expect. And that's what we want to do with Bandit Gang. We want to to showcase these new things that you would not even have thought of, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's if we would compare ourselves to other teams, yeah, they're all very competitive focused, and I feel like we would establish ourselves better when we don't do that. And I feel like our personalities, for regarding the content team, like we all have this same mindset when it comes to Gwent, and that's why we're not pro players or academic players. We're not too focused on the competitive side of things, and we just want to have fun and create unique content.
But I mean, can you just imagine it? World finals, right? You got one side, you got someone like Piable or Tailbot or Colomon, and then on the other side you got this slick in a pink suit, this guy right here, and the first deck he brings is triple commandos, and he refuses to change decks until he wins with it. Think about if content like that can make its way to the master scene, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying. Like I refuse to net deck, and I refuse to play these very competitive decks. I just want to get to masters with my own homebrews, and if I get there someday, then grand. I've gotten top 200 once before with homebrews, with like a Shoop Skellige deck and like what was it, the Brewer Igni Ragnarok deck back in the day. So stuff like that. If I can make top 200, then perhaps I could someday be top 64. But I need to invest way more time into playing Gwent, and those decks they do need to be somewhat competitive memes, because in order to get there you need to win games.
I'll have the poster ready because I have faith that it's gonna happen. Okay, so
but sorry if I interrupt you, but if I remember correctly, from even if it was open beta, I think Damorkis brought a very weird lineup that was like a super greedy lineup that Swim was playing a lot on stream to one of the open, and he won that open because no one expected that greedy lineup. So sometimes surprising your opponent is a good payoff even in the pro meta. You can surprise even open decklists if you choose something weird. We can even see it in our pro team as well. We have, for example, Ladik, that every time on qualifiers he brings something juicy. So it's not that you cannot surprise people even in the competitive scene. You still have some space to manipulate.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, at the end of the day, really, it's just like, if you know your deck inside and out, know how to pilot it, what kind of matchups it'll bring, then I think you can win with pretty much almost any deck. Of course, I mean, you'll come across the barrier of people net decking and people hyping up, these decks to be tier 1 decks and meta decks and everything like that. But I mean, if you put the time and effort into deck build and all that stuff, I know Decode is definitely someone who does that a lot. He's been begging me to showcase his decks on the deck list showcase on the YouTube channel, but I'm like, dude, you're not the only deck builder, and I am so sorry. I'd love to. Your decks are very interesting, and I love playing them, but I can't do it all the time. I'm sorry.
But also without people like being very modest, me or BJ or I don't know, Decode, anyone that plays things that are off meta, we will never discover these weird things that later are meta, actually, because if people are all afraid of doing any decks and they only net deck, we are in this clog of not playing anything new. And sometimes if you try and you make these weird decks, they 90% of the time they are not working, but then you can discover something super cool, unique, and it might become a meta. Without us, it won't be possible.
Yeah, I mean, Carrost even wrote an article regarding such topic.
Mm-hmm. And actually, on the subject of you don't find the meta decks until you play them. Look at Arrakis Swarm. About 2 months ago, it was a meme deck, and then Yennefer gets a 1 provision buff, and suddenly it's one of the biggest monsters decks out there. So play the meme decks now, because all it takes is like a shift of 1 provision, and suddenly the meme deck you were playing is meta.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's not net decking if you net deck it before it becomes a meta deck. There you
Yeah.
go. That's the advice for you, say no to net deckers out there.
You just gotta push. You gotta push your hipster glasses further up your nose and say, "I played that deck before it was popular."
Exactly. I remember when me and Vijay were having to talk about when Rat Swarm became, well, it was never popular, but like when it became more known. I actually remember playing it like a few months before people even started like hyping it up. It's super annoying for sure, but I mean, it was pretty fun. I got to brag there a little bit. I kind of want to have a bit of an open floor here. To you guys, you know, like what do you guys think about this, you know, because we've already said a lot in terms of like content and stuff, but you know, if there's anything that you guys want to let out, you know, just remember anything that I have to beep out, I will beep out, just so you know. So I'm gonna have the floor open to you guys, so go ahead. Who wants to take the floor?
I'm just gonna say it here, but Bandit Gang is the best team when it comes to content creation. You know, TLG, I mean, they're doing a really great job lately with content, but, you know, we are the only team with a unique content, and Team R2s, I don't know, do they even have content? I mean, I only see streams, you know, like, what's going on there?
Yeah, I can continue this topic because it's very interesting. I don't want to shit on other teams, but I will praise them in a moment, but I have to say first that teams, especially teams, I'm not talking about individuals, but the teams in Gwent feel very stale. They are not doing much. Like I expect from the teams to do some crazy tournaments, some crazy, I don't know, co-op streams, maybe even with different games to spice things up. I want to see articles. I want to see some interesting videos. And all I see from biggest teams is outdated beginner guides and one meta snapshot per month. This is most of the thing I see. I need to praise here TLG again because the recent thing they're doing with the TV and with all of the different content, like the co-ops with teaching people how to play a game if you can win or something, or like the whole TV idea and podcast, and inviting Saber, who is like a pro player, he knows how to play and show, and he discussing the decks. This is a good idea. They are finally doing something with their big brand, so it's nice to see. And also, I think it was Team Elderblood doing meta team, what was it? Meme snapshot. That's a good way to do something different. And I want to see different new things. And again, being very modest about Bandit Gang, I think we are doing this stuff because we are doing these weird co-ops. We are doing these crazy ideas. We have articles about past, about future, about present, basically. We have these lore videos that are people love and people are looking for them. And I actually, I know that I want Bandit Gang to be growing, but I would love to see what others can come up with. And again, there are some individuals like, for example, Mr. Habla, who is doing pretty good job creating unique content. But I want to see more of it from other teams as well.
Totally. Yeah.
Carrost, what do you got to say? I know you're still new, but you know what? You're gonna get thrown right into the fire. What you got, man?
Throw me right onto it.
Exactly.
I'm a little bit less. I'm not going to use the word judgmental because that was a pretty modest approach to it, Bumlin. But my my appraisal of the other my appraisal of the other teams is they have a niche and they fill it. They are very much honed in on the competitive scene of the game, and they fill that. Like, they release content updates and they keep everyone appraised on the meta, and sometimes more often they direct the meta, but it is what it is. I think Bandit Gang is in a unique position where we have a niche. It's the everyone else niche, really. It's the people who are looking for something fun to play, or they're looking to get more involved in the game's lore aspects, or they're looking into the I want to make something that's uniquely me instead of, say, net decking something they found off of Meta Snapshot. And we are uniquely poised for that entertainment aspect of Gwent, which I like a thing I love about Gwent is it is more competitive. You have Hearthstone, which is very RNG dominant, but Gwent relies a lot more on skill, which I love. But I think what we can do is bring back the fun in Gwent, and not just the fun from winning. It's the fun from trying to do something your way. Something that I've been meaning to put in my articles, and for whatever reason I keep forgetting, is a fun deck is a fun deck is a deck that you have fun losing with, not just winning with. Like, I've been playing a unique take on Were-Rat recently. It's unique, it's mine, I made it, and it's no one else's. Trademark, copyright, whatever else I need. And it's a deck that I have fun losing with. Granted, if I run into like Clog, I have a bad time, but that's a terrible archetype, so what can you do about that? So Bandit Gang is in a position to bring the fun back to balance the competitive.
That's actually a good way of seeing it. Actually, and I actually agree with what you said, especially the one where, you know, a good deck for you or a fun deck for you is one where you lose with. Man, that hit me deep, dude. That actually did hit me kind of deep. I'm not gonna lie about that.
I rediscovered that because I had been playing a bunch of I net decked to get to pro last season because I was just like, I want to get those keys. I don't have all the cards yet, whatever. And then I tried the rat deck, and my win rate was like maybe 55 to 60%, but I found in my losses I was like, that didn't suck. I had a good time.
Yeah, exactly. As long as you have fun playing with the deck, it doesn't matter if you lose all your games. That would suck, but you know, it does happen.
And what I keep seeing is like people that getting burned out from laddering in Gwent, you know, like, oh, you know, I cannot get to pro rank, I'm losing over and over, and they're playing those net decks, right? But perhaps, you know, they could change that from net decking and play something more fun oriented, and then they might have a total different mindset when it comes to losing in Gwent, and maybe they will actually have fun, like Carrost is saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, something. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, something I also discovered. I'll own up to it. Partially, I'm just not as experienced as other players, but I find I play better with decks I made because I know the win con. I threw the cards together myself. I know how they're supposed to interact with each other. When I net deck, I'm going, oh, okay. I kind of have to read how it's supposed to go, but a lot of the time I don't. You know, again, inexperience being what it is, I will look at the cards and go, I don't know how I'm supposed to play this. And I'll have viewers submit decks that I play on stream, and they're going, no, you got to do this. And I'm going, I didn't make this.
Yeah.
Well, I totally agree with you there. Like, for example, the triple commando deck that I made a long time before Freddy Babes. Yeah,
I could slide that in there.
I totally mastered the deck, and even like people like Weevil, they praise me for that, right? Like, whoa, BJ, you are the master of the triple commando. So, like, you know all the ins and outs of that deck, and you beat them people with it. And yeah, that's the thing. If I play like a deck, like you also were saying, Carrost, like if I play a deck from a viewer, and I'm like, what the hell do I do here? And then you make mistakes, and then you're kind of like your mood disappears, you know. Like, but when you're playing your own deck, that you truly know what you're going to do there, like you also have more fun just streaming Gwent in general as well.
Yeah, I think it's also there is a problem when you net deck something big, and you are like, for example, float with information like this deck wins everything. You know, you see this Reddit post, Line Pocket is unbeatable. You queue into Line Pocket, or you look at the streamer who is playing against Line Pocket, and everyone tells you Line Pocket is so good, it wins against everything. Then you net deck it, you play one game and you lose, and you feel super bad because everyone told you that you are supposed to win with this deck automatically, and then you lose, and then you are getting frustrated about the game. You are blaming RNG because you always blame RNG. You blame that you didn't draw the one specific card, or your opponent plays something, and that's why you lose. And you're getting even more frustrated, and you stop liking the game. So I really think that the different approach is sometimes better for card games. Maybe it's better to experiment a little bit with something.
And it's funny you bring up that word experiment. It's very apropos to what I'm actually about to talk about. And I'm going to let you guys know right now, I'm going to break gonna break the fourth wall a little bit here. We've been recording for about 36 minutes. But you know, if you guys want to find out how I get such great ideas for making content, you're gonna have to watch the entire thing to find out. I'll be sure to put that in the description below as well. But so for me to sort of share a bit of my sort of mindset with you guys when it comes to me creating content, it's like, yeah, you know, with the lore blast, people say like, oh my god, Enzo has such really good editing skills, and like, you know, it's all that stuff. I mean, you guys already know that I love storytelling as well. I also play D&D, but I don't like DMing. I'm not gonna lie. I think that's just too high management, and people, it really depends on the players you play with. Some of them will question everything you say, and that kind of annoys me. That's why it's like, oh my gosh, I don't think I can handle this stress. But the true secret to me being able to produce content like this is experimenting. Exactly what Bauman said. In a different context, of course, but you know, you experiment different things. Like, it's not just applied to decks, of course, it also applies to videos and ideas and stuff. And if you feel that it works, you stick with it, you roll with it, you know, you try and make it better if you can. But there is such thing as overdoing it. Like, for example, over editing a video, that's a thing. That's why when you guys see those lore blast videos, I try not to implement too many edits, even though, you know, and I like to say that, oh, it's because I don't have time, it's because I have full-time work. In reality, I really do. I'm just incredibly lazy at times. Like, you know, I'll be in the middle of working on a video, and then for like 5 hours straight, I'm watching Airsoft or Nerf or LARP videos, or, you know, whatever random YouTube content is out there. But yeah, I think as long as you stay consistent to sort of the script and the story, I hate saying that word script because it sounds fake. But I mean, you know, to make it interesting, it's better if you have everything laid out and planned as well, which is another tip, by the way, to those of you that are sort of subpar with your content skills and want to, you know, raise it up a little bit. But don't go too far, because you're going to make me work even harder. No one's going to like that. Not talking to the other teams out there, but if anyone's looking to step up their content, it's going to force me to have to be more creative. And it's not gonna end well. I'm just saying. I'm saying it in the nicest, most Canadian way possible.
So say no to creating content.
That's our next video.
Yeah, I don't know if I can edit that video, because that's technically content. But I think on that note, it's a good time to sort of close off the podcast here. This was honestly, like I said, it's a lot of fun. I was really wanting to see what we were going to talk about, and it was all pretty interesting. I got plenty of ideas from us talking about, you know, future content coming up, so be sure to be on the lookout for that. We recently opened a videos page on the website because I noticed that the website gets so many views. I'm like, I want those views on my videos, man. Bring them over. So we'll have a link to everything like that in the description below. I would like to thank Mr. Slick in the Suit, Master of the Triple Commandos, BJ, the content manager, for joining us. We got Bomblin, in his most recent cult following increase. And I, just on a side comment, like when people single out one person and say that, you know, I like watching it because of this guy, I am totally okay with that, because it tells me that, you know, at least I brought you in for a reason. You were a good investment.
I can do one good thing at least.
Yeah. I mean, it's only
well, hey, look at it this way. Look at it this way. If people like it for Bomblin, Bomblin likes you, so people like you.
Exactly.
That's true, but if only 2 people say it, it's a start. I'll say it's a start. And of course, our newest, you're our newest member, right, BJ? Is there anyone? I'm sorry.
No, Carrost is the newest member of Bandit Gang, and therefore
Bandit baby.
Bandit Piglet.
Oh, no.
And of course, I guess you could say this is your sort of initiation to the team. So welcome to the team. And I really can't wait to start working with you. And there's a lot of untapped content that we can unlock with combination of like storytelling, LARPing potentially, and Gwent. So I can't wait to see that. And
a lot of room to grow.
Exactly. And other than that, we're all going to be heading out, and we're going to catch you guys in the next Team Bandit Gang upload.